Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to 1 Million Cups here at Cowork by RSD, 911 8th Avenue in downtown Anchorage, and coming to you live across the world via Zoom. We are in our new location now here on the first floor of, we can applaud that. That's pretty cool. For 1 Million Cups, we've been elevated to the main floor. So now we've got access to the coffee. You'll be hearing the coffee grinder going all through the meeting. We got doors, so if you come on down and you walk in the front door, you're going to see us. You don't have to worry about where we're at. So this is the our first time being back down here on the first floor, and we're really excited about it. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get right into it. Welcome to the front door of the Anchorage startup community. If you could do me a favor, if you haven't already, grab your phones and scan this QR code. That will take you to our internal form that stays here local with our volunteers. It helps us keep track of who's interested in 1 Million Cups and make sure that we have all the resources and things that we need to make this the best experience that we can for all of you. If you're not into the QR code thing, that's totally cool. We got a tiny URL over there for you, tiny URL /1MC Alaska. We'll get you to the same form. So whatever the case may be, please just let us know that you're here. Let us know that you're interested with this. I promise you we're not going to sign you up for National Geographic or anything like that. And while you got your phones out, why not post out on your favorite social medias about what you're doing here today, and follow 1 Million Cups on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and wherever you do your social media. We'd love it if you would interact with the businesses that you see here at 1 Million Cups and help us to grow this community. The mission of 1 Million Cups is to lower the barrier of access to education, resources, and connection for all types of new and aspiring entrepreneurs throughout the United States. So while we may be meeting here in this co-working facility in Anchorage, Alaska, we're part of an organization that's meeting coast to coast across the fruited plains and the Purple Mountains majesties as we speak right now. Today, we've got a wonderful presentation. The magnificent Megan is going to talk to us about the Alaska Manufacturing Association. So join me in welcoming Megan to the stage.
So fast, I can post. Yes.
We get to learn about that new motorcycle first.
I got a Royal Enfield Himalayan, which is super cool, little adventure bike. My man also has an adventure bike. So looking forward to adventuring beyond on 2 wheels, which is exciting. So hi, everyone. If you don't know me, I think I actually know most of you. My name is Megan Militello. I am the co-founder of the Alaska Manufacturing Association, also known as AKMA. We launched AKMA to serve a full spectrum of Alaska's manufacturers, from food producers and body care brands to welders, woodworkers, and machine shops. I've been a food manufacturer myself and worked in supply chain and compliance, so I know firsthand how tough it is to grow something real in Alaska. AKMA exists to make that path easier for everyone that makes things here in Alaska. So Alaskan makers are talented, but they're isolated. We kept hearing the same thing over and over again. I don't know where to go for help. I don't know who else is doing these things. AKMA was born to connect the dots. We create shared resources, promote collaboration, and bring makers together under one statewide banner. So our mission is simple but bold. We want to connect makers, provide the tools they need to grow, and make sure that their voices are heard. And the vision is a statewide manufacturing economy that's not just surviving, but thriving. One where people know what's made here, where local goods are visible in stores, and where collaboration replaces isolation. It's not just about oil and gas and seafood processors, it's about lifting up the entire ecosystem of Alaska's makers. Thought it was going to be easy on my computer and it's didn't go. I think I was supposed to be on this one and I switched early. Here we are, who we support. So what we're doing now is we host MFG Mixers quarterly. Our first one is going to be this September 18th at JKD Brands here in Anchorage. Nice. 18th, yes, ma'am. And for non-members, it's $25. For members, it is free. So please come and join us. We run free virtual roundtables that are I already said virtual, so that we can hear from makers from anywhere in Alaska. So it's not just those people that are here in Anchorage or like in the valley, but we can actually have those that are making things in Cake or Ketchikan all join us so we can learn what they need. We're building a B2B directory that connects buyers, suppliers, and manufacturers. We're offering consulting support for packaging, compliance, and strategy. And we've launched a private Slack channel so that our members can connect without us being the middleman. We also do some educational sessions. Our first one was on using ChatGPT for our business, and the next one we're planning on tackling is for marketing. Some of the brands that we've worked with is Stella May's seafood boils. They make a spice bomb for a seafood boil, which is really amazing. We actually redid their logo, which is really beautiful. And then Alaska Food Co., we're doing consulting with them to help them with strategy and getting their brand fully identified and launching forward. So what we're building right now, we're really focusing on the growth of the B2B directory, facilitating peer connections through our Slack channel, and hosting those Rhythmly quarterly mixers and roundtables across the state. But the bigger short-term goal is engagement. We're aiming to connect with at least 25% of Alaska's manufacturers this year, so that when we advocate or build tools, we're not just guessing, we're representing the real needs of our people. And that's why we've partnered with Vessel, which is a veteran-owned company out of Idaho. They're going to help us collect data that we'll use to inform policy, infrastructure investment, and visibility efforts statewide. So that platform is like for surveys or assessments that we'll be able to send to all of our manufacturers. So in the next 3 to 5 years, we want to build a central hub where any Alaska manufacturer can get what they need. We want to expand our directory to become a trusted source for buyers inside and outside of Alaska. We want to launch membership cohorts and training programs to help makers scale their business. And we want to build long-term policy partnerships so that small-scale production is prioritized. We also want to make Alaska a brand. I feel like this is something that Alaska's been sleeping on for so long. We want shelf tags, signage, media campaigns, and statewide pride in what is being made here. So we're building this with and for Alaska's makers, and we're just getting started. So there's a few ways that you can get involved. You can join our free virtual roundtables that are quarterly. We're going to put those out on our website. You can get your business on our B2B directory. That includes suppliers, vendors, and those makers and manufacturers. Also nonprofit organizations. Come to a mixer. As I said, the next one's September 18th in Anchorage. Or partner with us if you're a buyer, a funder, or an advocate to help us grow. And just as important, if you know a maker, a builder, or a small manufacturer that needs community or support, send AKMA their way. So thank you all again for letting me share about the Alaska Manufacturing Association with you. We're building something powerful here, and it's not just for the makers that are already in the room. It's for the ones that are still working alone. And if you know someone who should be a part of this, send them our way. Because truly, rising tides lift all ships, and the more makers that we bring into the fold, the stronger Alaska's manufacturing future becomes. This QR code will take you to the event page on our website for the mixer event. Here's our information. I don't know how that G got there, but it's org at the end. And then if you have any questions, please let me hear them.
Outstanding, thank you.
I do have a question. So if there is a small business that isn't necessarily in manufacturing, but that supports manufacturing, like freight, things like that, do you want those kind of businesses kind of pointed your way It's kind of an introduction as well.
Yes, ma'am. And the reason we
good.
want those ones, those people can also be in our B2B directory. And that's where we can connect people directly so that our manufacturers know they can work with these freight forwarders. We actually have a few different logistics companies in our directory already. And so
Okay.
just having those direct resources is huge so that our manufacturers don't have to just guess on where and who to go to.
You have the quarterly virtual roundtables, you have more frequent in-person gatherings or? is that
We're
what-
gonna do the quarterly in-person mixers for right now, and then we're showing up to different events to try to get our name out there.
Cool.
So we're planning on adding some panels in there, just so we can add some personal experiences from our manufacturers to be able to share with those that are wanting to get into manufacturing, or those that are already in it, or the vendors, suppliers, different folks that can benefit from that knowledge.
Did you help put together, or were you just at the one that was at the Alaska Framing Solutions with the Muni?
I put that together.
Okay, so that introduced me to Michael at Alaska Framing Solutions, and I've done 7-figure business with them.
I love that.
Wow.
Yes, this is how the community, like, when you do those things, what works. So that's great.
Sounds like a great success story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Media.
I have a question. You want to go
Go
first?
go first.
So when you said like Alaska the brand, I feel like this is a pointed question. So we have like Alaska, made in Alaska brand, right? Branding. How would that compare? Like, how does that dream compare with their dream, if you will?
I feel like their dream is lacking. Sorry, you guys. It's branded by the Commission of Alaska. They have 2 people on it that it's not their full-time job. It's like a side thing that it's tacked on to their position. It's a task. And their initiatives, like, we've worked with them on things and I'm like, okay, have you talked to buyers? Like, about getting better signage in stores? And they haven't. They've created a market, which was free for folks. We feel that their standards for what is made in Alaska.
It's not free for businesses.
Okay, I didn't, yeah.
Yeah,
Wasn't
you
even
you have
free.
to pay to use their logo.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
but the market was free if you do use their logo. I think, I don't even know, but
Okay,
yeah, it's
so-
$25 to use their logo. I feel like, it's optional, which is
25%
fine.
of it has to be made in Alaska.
How much?
I think 25 or maybe even 10, something like that.
It's not a lot. It's not a lot. And that's where it's like, I can go to Walmart and see things that are designed by Alaskans and brought in, and it still has made in Alaska on it, but yeah, it's made in China. So we feel that their standards are not very high, and we want to really elevate what's actually made here in Alaska. And I don't know if that's
Good people.
making our own thing, or if it's talking to them and seeing if they're able to change things. But this is where we think it could be done better.
I didn't realize Made in Alaska was a federal or the state
State
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was a commercial business.
Yeah, state thing.
So you were talking about trying to get 25% of the manufacturing businesses in a directory. What's your current guesstimate on how many manufacturers there are in Alaska? I think a lot of people don't realize how much manufacturing actually is here. We kind of discount it as it doesn't happen in Alaska, can't happen in Alaska, it's not practical. And yet, what do you know? What does 25% mean? And what do you think the current guesstimate is on the size of manufacturing in Alaska and its value?
With having worked for the Alaska MEP, we just finished doing this study. My position was part of this SCOIN pilot program, Supply Chain Information Optimization Network. So we had one full-time employee in every single state, and we all kind of worked together. That position included a study that was done by the CED here in Alaska, and I believe we're at about 700-ish, I'm gonna say, manufacturers and makers. There's definitely an issue with our makers sometimes not realizing that they are manufacturers. So I think there's an education part of that, and that's where we like to use the phraseology maker and manufacturer, just so it's clear, like, if you're making something, you are a manufacturer. So ideally, we're looking at 200 people would be nice, 175-ish people would be really nice to have an understanding from, so that we can have a collective group to really have a full understanding of what our people need.
So how do you do this? What's the, going up to the balcony, what's the business model for what you're doing and how do you float the boat?
Good question. Right now it's all passion, which is great. Our B2B directory is not free, so it is paid membership. Our manufacturers, for them, it's $120 a month. For suppliers and vendors, it's $140. For nonprofits, it's $100. That's a small amount. Our consulting helps. So the small consulting projects that we're able to do will help bring a little bit of funds in. We're flirting with the idea of going nonprofit next year because there are a lot of federal funds that do support our manufacturers that we can use to help our folks out here versus what the MEP was doing. FYI, everybody, if you didn't know, the MEP shut down June 30th. So with that closure, we're really trying to fill the gap so that our manufacturers have a dedicated resource that they're able to go to. When talking to the SBDC, only 15% of the folks that they deal with are manufacturers. So having something specialized for them that is by manufacturers that have a little more understanding of what they deal with, we think could be really beneficial. So if we go nonprofit route, it could open up some funds. We can get funding from different organizations here in Alaska to be able to support our manufacturers, but we're still figuring it all out. And this is why too, our events are not always free. They're free for our members, but we're going to charge for those that are not members. The manufacturing roundtables, anybody can come to that virtual meeting. It's an hour, it makes it easy. The educational sessions that we have, those are also paid for just so that we can help fund ourselves. It's me and my business partner, Lacey, right now that are putting everything together and just running in the wind.
Quick clarification. Website says 120, 140 annually. You said monthly,
Oh, yes.
annually.
Annually, 140 annually for those suppliers, 120 annually for our manufacturers.
That's a horse of another color.
Sitting here doing the mental math.
Yes.
Circle back.
And that helps, huh?
Yeah.
Next year, Megan's gonna buy a building.
Something about 7 figures and all that kind of stuff.
So I wondered if you could tell me a little bit more about the data that you're collecting, and I'm wondering sort of what you think might come out of that, what revelations might come out of that. And then sort of part two is, do you have a future vision that you might interface with like the legislature or, you know, people who are like, you know, making laws?
Yes. Yes. That is not my wheelhouse. However, there's a gentleman that we're already connected with who's also a manufacturer, happens to make furniture out of Juneau. I would love to hire him to do the advocacy work for us, but then that takes
Yeah.
funds for us to be able to pay him monthly to do it. So
Yeah.
it is in our future goals to be able to do that and pay for that person who's directly connected to the legislatures. For the data that we're collecting, we're the ones creating the surveys and assessments. Right now, we have a survey that's created for supply chain. With that data, we can say you were doing the survey or assessment. With that data, we can be like, okay, maybe these people can help you specifically. Or, hey, we have all of these folks that are shipping things in from this place. Why don't we consolidate shipping? How can we work together so that we're not just operating in those silos and actually like make some actionable changes? Or we can talk to some logistic companies like Tote to get some subsidies for exporting out of Alaska. They're shipping back 80% of their containers empty. Like, why are we not getting a discount on that? But we need someone to be holding that flag to actually make it happen. And all of our manufacturers are so busy with what they're doing in their silos, you know?
I mean, I would ship out of Alaska if I could. But it's not possible right now.
Yeah, the logistics is a huge challenge.
So knowing your past and timeline, is this feels like a something to bridge the gap between your old position seemingly ending and not being renewed, right? And then filling that niche with your brand, right? Or that helps us all.
Yeah.
And does that sound correct, or am I off on that?
I feel like I did a lot of work for almost 2 years,
Yeah.
right, helping our manufacturers, but I wasn't necessarily into just project base, trying to get money. I feel like the MEP was always trying to fight to get funding, and if we're just doing it on our own and making the actual things happen, that's not just like, oh, let me sell you this lean project. You know, how do we actually like consolidate our shipping? Or
Yeah.
get a warehouse that's in Tacoma to get cheaper prices, versus like these top 49 businesses where most of them are logistic companies and they're making all this money. How do we pass that on to our people?
And then is there any opportunities for you to take over some of the resources that were created with your time in the MAP in this way? Because eventually they're gonna be out of date, eventually mothballed, right? But you worked on a lot of resources, you put a lot of time and efforts into it. I'd hate for those resources to dwindle and die, you know? And so hopefully you can take over some of those projects again.
Yeah, we're definitely connected to, what's nice is that we're still connected to MEPs. I'm actually gonna go to like the Western Pod meeting later this month. Because now what do we have in Alaska for manufacturers? You know, like they want there to be an MEP here, and like they want to help manufacturers. But if they don't have anybody to go to, who are they gonna go to? And just like when Erica, the SBA, they had a manufacturing roundtable, we like had just started the organization and they're like, hey, you wanna come? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're asking us to come to this thing. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but this is why we're here, right? Like, we're trying to create something so that we can be the voice for the people. So I would love to maintain all the resources that I have. The connections have been strong, I feel like, between LinkedIn. I mean, even this company Vessel reached out to us and they're like, we want to help you. And I'm like, I don't have money, but we'll take your help, you know, that would be great. So I think that people are seeing what we're doing and the visibility that we're creating, even just a couple reels on what's in Walmart, you know, or what's at All About Herbs, like the visibility that we're able to make a splash with has been already proven to do something. And even the mixers, I mean, we were doing the mixers for 1.5 years. Like, I would hate to cut off that momentum for all that effort that was put in to connect the people. Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna do the mixers, we don't have to.
It's not how this works. It's not how any of this works.
Yeah,
Same as
so,
with visual
and then
stuff.
community is our thing. Like, I like bringing together the people, and I feel like it's, you know, once people are in the room, you can see the connections happen and the synergy and how change can actually be made. Or even that last mixer we had at Bleeding Heart Brewery, and someone was talking about shipping, and they're like, yeah, we tried to ship something up, and it was like, well, do you have an Alaska cargo account? And some people are like, yeah, it's great, and some people are like, no, I've never heard of this, and it's like, go get one, you know,
I've
but
never heard of it.
someone, go get one, Alaska cargo account, so that you can have that, you can like ship a pallet for $50.
$50.
Yeah.
Can I sit on it?
But like that type of knowledge, right? Like if we are not in those silos.
From
and
Seattle.
We're able, I believe so, yeah.
That
Yeah,
Alaska Air
there's
Cargo?
a lot of benefits to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who is that with?
And just to have it, Alaska Airlines,
All
just
right.
like to have that in your back pocket, but it takes a minute to like sign up for it, right? So like go and just sign up for it. You're in, you're done, you got your business set up, and if you need it, you have that resource to go to and check the price with. Marnie, you do that.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's why I'm literally like mind blown. This is great.
Yes.
I'm sorry I was
So
late, but I'm
sign
glad
up
I'm
for-
here.
Fine.
Sign up for a membership, you just are,
Yeah,
I
right.
guess, is that a?
Yeah.
Worth 140?
Yeah, 100%. I'm in.
120, sorry.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
Hurry.
Hurry.
Perfect. Yeah,
That's
and
more
that's
my lingo.
like even the Slack channel, if we can get people onto the Slack
Yeah.
channel and communicating with each other, one person's like, hey, I'm ordering boxes. We had a manufacturer reach out to us and say, there's this deal going on at Uline for these boxes. Would anybody else be interested in going in on it? And we sent it out to our list of people. And then with that, I was like, hey, have you ever gone to Granger and ordered, because they'll ship directly to
I
their
love
warehouse here in Anchorage.
For
You
free.
can pick it up for free. Shipping is free. You pick it up from Granger, and that's been the cheapest boxes that I found. And she was like, wow, that saved me how much money now switching to Granger instead of Uline. So if we just share what we're doing, share the knowledge, like. There's so much in Alaska, and this is where it's like, if we build the brand and we're exporting more and we're hitting those tourists
Yeah.
more to be like, this is what's here in Alaska. It's huge. For our whole economy.
You go, girl.
Yeah.
On a slightly different thread, what's your view of what you're doing, what we should be doing, could be doing? Between looking at manufacturers as folks that are making things and are more in the supply chain, even contract work, versus supporting people that want to be innovative new startups that are going to make something, because it's kind of two different worlds of figuring out how to design something, trying to find someone to make it for you, deciding what you're going to do in-house versus what you're going to do out-house. What's your view of what you're doing and how that builds into both supporting manufacturers in that traditional sense of supply chains, raw materials, logistics, versus supporting people that want to manufacture something and have that innovative mindset about, I don't even know how to make something, but I know what it is I want made. How does that fit into what you're doing?
Love talking to those people too and connecting with them. I've only so many resources in Alaska. We don't have co-packers. We don't have co-manufacturers just making things. We have to outsource a lot of stuff. And that's just the nature of Alaska. But if we can help with getting you co-packers that you can talk to, or like just even, these are interview questions. When you go to a co-packer, make sure that you vet them in this way. That is supporting more jobs, more money in Alaska, like being created. So I think that they kind of go together, even though they're a little different. And then I think too, that when we talk to those startups and those people being innovative, it only shows what we're lacking here in Alaska. And that can help with doing like reverse pitches or something, like how do we get finishing services here in Alaska to be a thing that someone starts, or like boxes. We talked about
Yeah.
someone manufacturing boxes or
Forever.
cans. I mean, there's so many different slots that can be filled here.
That's
It's just about actually making
Well,
something.
there is one. It's custom. There's a CNC box manufacturer or an international.
Oh,
They
yeah,
do,
yeah.
Double wall stuff, but it's kind of especially.
Really expensive.
They're practical. I bought them, hundreds of them in the past too, a solution.
Yes.
What was I gonna get?
No.
I had one a little while ago, but there was like, everybody's hand went up, and so I was like, I sat on it, and now I forgot it. It'll come back.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I'm just curious, what do you know about the Alaska Business Initiative? Is that helping? That was supposed to be $5 million state was going to spend on supporting Alaska manufacturers and Alaska made things and whatnot, and I'm not quite sure it's doing much, but what do you know about it? What's good about it? Is there anything to know, or do you have a thought on that?
I need to look more into that. Just had my wedding, so it was like my whole life was planning for this one day. Thank you. So I will look into that just to get more information. I know we're always kind of looking for those grants that can support our manufacturers.
They've decided that Alaska needs another website, but so it's AK Business Initiative, if anyone wants to look at it.
Okay.
It was a legislative appropriation a couple
Year to
years ago that went to DCCED. And they decided that the solution for Alaska manufacturing was to build a website.
Well,
Sorry if
That's
I'm a
more,
little-
that's more productive than some.
yeah.
Yeah, at least the result wasn't to do another study.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Right?
Alaska-
Is it
Another
Well,
five-year
the
initiative?
first time.
Yeah.
The only thing you'll find on it though are a bunch of studies, so I'm
Oh, well,
Oh.
so it's out there, all right.
Hold it.
Yep.
just saying, sorry.
I remember my question. How can folks that are not in manufacturing support this?
That's a great
Direct
question.
them to us, or if you're a vendor that supports them, you're still welcome to come onto the B2B directory, show up to those virtual roundtables. You can get an understanding of what's happening for our industry. We really want those virtual roundtables to be about our manufacturers. So we'll ask people like, if you're a vendor, this is not the time to just share about your business. This is a time for us to understand the needs of our manufacturers. And then sometimes those vendors will have solutions, which is great. Love that. But we really want to focus on what our makers and manufacturers need. So if you are that supporting, send other people our way, join those other things so that you have an understanding of what is going on here. Because everything that we touch is manufactured, right? Like everything that we're touching is made somewhere.
Just, you may have already said this, and if I'm asking something you already said, sorry about that. How do you interact? Is it a meeting? Is it virtual? Is it in person? Is it monthly?
We do quarterly stuff,
Meetings
quarterly meetings.
where you all get together?
Mixer is in person, no online happening, just so we can have that in-person touch and feel.
So is the main thing the quarterly mixers? There's not another meeting going on,
The other one is the virtual roundtable that's free to anybody.
the virtual roundtable?
Yes,
So that's the
and
part I missed.
The reason that we started that was because not everybody can come to Anchorage. And so we're like, how do we talk to our manufacturers that are in Fairbanks and understand what they need? Or anywhere else, right? If we're not traveling somewhere either.
And is that,
That's quarterly.
do you just get an invite to that or?
Yep, yep. Mhm. If you
And
sign up on our website you don't have to be a member to get our email information.
Sign up in your website.
Sign
and
up
then
on the
you'll get
website. Yep.
Random comment.
It's the
Maybe you
website.
need like a third tier of like people interested in the space, that it's a more friction-free process than company name, having to upload the logo and all that. I would have signed up while we were sitting here, but I have in-house, we'll talk about it later, but
Okay.
I'm not public facing, but I have in-house manufacturing and I'd love to participate, but there's a lot of
Got it.
friction on that,
Yes. Are they required?
Yes.
Okay.
including the logo.
I'll talk to my friend. Got it.
So I don't think you're talking about registering for the mixer.
No, we
I
don't
signed
have,
up the membership.
Yeah.
yeah, and we
Please.
don't have that next roundtable on there yet.
But, oh, you just have to sign up for each roundtable or?
Yeah,
Just get on your list.
get on the email list and then we'll send you
Where's the
information when we
email list?
put the date out for the. Maybe at the bottom,
Think-
potentially.
Deb has a question.
Yeah.
Hi, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Is your association going to be a member and affiliate of the National Association of Manufacturers eventually?
That is a good question. I don't know yet, but I will look into it.
And then my second question is, you talked about percentages made in Alaska that vary. And I don't know if I may have missed, what do you perceive as made in Alaska? Is there a percentage that you perceive?
Good question. Not necessarily a percentage. I think that right now we're just trying to see like how much effort is being put into that manufacturing process here. How can we help those folks? I understand that we can't make everything here. We don't have all the resources, so we have to bring things in. Even when I had a granola company, I mean, we only added a couple things that were made here. All the packaging we're outsourcing, all the oats we couldn't get from Alaska. So that is definitely a challenge. The assembly part is a big part of what's being put together here and how that counts as what's being made in Alaska. But we don't have our own set of standards. I think it's more about how can we really highlight those folks that have a process happening where they are creating more jobs or bringing in that equipment, that specialized equipment to make things here in Alaska.
Thank you.
All right, we always like to finish with the question, what can we as an entrepreneurial community do to support you as an entrepreneur?
Share this with your maker and manufacturer friends or anybody that supports, like we would, again, we're trying to hit that 25% number. And that's just being able to communicate, know what they need so that we can really shape what we're sharing as well. We don't want to do that with just like two people that are like, oh, this doesn't work for me. And it's like, okay, we can't say all of our manufacturers, this doesn't work for. If we can get a collective understanding, it's only going to help us shape how we operate in the future.
Outstanding. Well, thank you very much. Excellent presentation. We will move now into community announcements. Does anyone have any community announcements besides Kai? I know Kai's got a couple.
I've got two. First off, startup weekend, there's some there, pass around here. Startup weekend is coming up in 3 weeks. So we're now down to the beginning of the panic period of why aren't people signing up? It's just an Alaska thing. We don't like RSVPs and signing up, but it is a thing. There's been a lot of organizing going on through the course of summer. Alex here is helping, and Laura and many others. This is being jointly organized by Visit Anchorage, the Commonwealth North, the Alaska Travel Industry Association, AEDC, I missed one, Anchorage Community Development Association, something like that. Anyway, it's tourism vertical focus this time. We never had a vertical focus in the past, but there's a lot of interest in exploring tourism. What does it mean? What are the business opportunities that come out of it? It's, I think, going to be an exciting event. We're going to be hosting the main event down at the Pioneer Schoolhouse, which is a new location, but a very cool spot. A very historic one in Alaska to be based out of, but I'll also keep us close to downtown so that the folks involved can get down to talk with visitors. And then we're going to be doing the main pitch event Sunday evening on September 7th at Willowa Social, be at 5:30. That'll be a big community event. We hope to invite a lot of people that are interested in startups, innovation, and economic development, future of Alaska to pop in there. We'll also be using that event to kick off more public-facing promotion for the Alaska Entrepreneurship Week. That's the last week of September, as well as kicking off more public-facing promotion of the Alaska Angel Conference, which is moving into a fall program this year. It'll essentially kind of have an open enrollment period in September, trying to wrap up by the end of the startup week at the end of September, and then roll into programming that Center for Economic Development is helping manage and deliver, with the final event in December, I think on the 11th or something right around there. So at any rate, a lot going on with that, but please, with these, if you're not specifically going to be coming, I mean, I encourage you to sign up. Please come either for the main event. If you're interested in coaching and helping, get a hold of Alex. But more in particular, help us find those folks that are interested in tourism and interested in products and innovation and would like to be part of the team. You don't have to come with a tourism idea. The way these startup weekends work is if you have an idea, you get to pitch it. If you don't have an idea, you get to listen to other people's ideas, and then we do a mixer and turn it into teams that focus the rest of the weekend on some decisions on there. But please post this, share this, help us get the word out on this thing. We think we're going to have a pretty sizable event. We're going to be capped at about 60 people because of the space in there. I've got a lot of folks that I think are interested. We've got folks that are coming down from Fairbanks, folks up from Juneau and Cordova. It'll, I think, be just a really fun, exciting event. At the startup weekend, you know that they're just a wonderful way to get connected with the community and to it is the funnest. It's a great way to give. So
Thrilling,
the other thing I want to pass.
because it's thrilling.
It is thrilling. It is thrilling. I've got a copy, I think, for everybody here of this book. Give First. I want you to grab this and read this. This is Brad Feld's newest book. Brad is kind of the guru of startup communities. And when he started doing this work back, not quite 20 years ago, a little over 15 years ago, he began recognizing the way you build startup communities is with this ethos of giving first. That is, and it's a little different than give forward, with the idea that you're giving forward in order to get back at some point. Give first is really this decision to lean into how can you help somebody else with what they're doing, not knowing when or if or how you'll get some sort of return, but just kind of trusting that it's a good thing to do, and at some point you are going to get something back. But you never know what it's going to be in terms of the way it works. And he has continued to lead this thinking around the world, that startup communities are not this kind of transactional community where somebody shows up and is asked to help out with a startup weekend, and they say, well, you know, how many times are you going to post my logo in order to transactionally this is a place where people just kind of lean in and say, we're gonna put something into this community, we're gonna put something into helping somebody else. If you know Jacqueline Summers, you know her profound advice about what is the best way to get help with what you're doing. Start by helping somebody else with what they're doing.
For sure.
Giving first, knowing that you will develop connections, you'll develop experience, you'll help lift up the rest of the world, and somehow that will magically lift us all up. So Brad now has come up with his latest book, Give First. I initially read it thinking this is gonna be Brad kind of really refining this ethos of leaning into giving first. He actually, though, has gone a slightly different direction in this, which is to really focus in on how important mentorship is in innovation ecosystems. And that's one of, there's many ways, but it's one of the main ways that innovation ecosystems have that opportunity for people to give first. That is, they start helping somebody else, that mentoring opportunity. It remains to me one of the big gaps in our Alaska ecosystem is having a more formal, more organized mentorship opportunity. We get little tastes of it with startup weekends when folks show up and they get to meet a few coaches in there. We have some other programs
Now
with Launch
normal.
Alaska or Upstart Alpha where there's kind of these short-term little mentorship activities, but we still don't have the fabric of an ongoing way to do it. We kind of do it here at 1 Million Cups. We start chatting afterwards and there's a connection, there's a phone call that gets made, there's a coffee afterwards. That's mentorship. He's really leaning into how important, how vital that is to create an ecosystem. So I really want to encourage everyone to read this, share this book with somebody else. I would like us all to have a deeper, more ongoing discussion this fall, particularly as we move into the startup cycle of events about what is an Alaska version of a give first approach to the ecosystem. How can we find new ways to give into this ecosystem so that we all are enriched in the process? And I'm particularly interested in how could we build some sort of mentorship framework that would allow us to have a little more structured way for those that would like to learn how to be a mentor, because one of the magical discoveries I made is that just because you ask for mentors doesn't mean somebody knows how to be a mentor. And just because you want to be mentored doesn't mean you automatically know how to be a mentee.
Yeah.
There's some training that goes on both sides of the equation to create the dynamic value so that both are rewarded from that relationship. I'd like to work on figuring out what that's going to look like here and help build it. So please read this, please pass it on. Please help me fill up the startup weekend in 3 weeks with folks, and appreciate the time today.
Thank you for this.
Of course.
Yeah.
Brad also has connections to Alaska.
Yes, Brad has a lot of connections here. He gets to chat with a number of us who reach out. He's his wife is what, from Homer, I think.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, it's just getting
on
up
this
there
dude.
again.
yeah, and so he's still around. He appreciates Alaska. And I truly appreciate very quick story. Brad Feld was doing an Ask Me Anything at Willowa Social 7 years ago or so. And, you know, Ask Me Anything is just kind of a crowd. You just ask whatever question comes up.
Yeah.
Keith McCormick stands up in that meeting and says, Brad, will you give Health Tie $25,000? I mean, it's Ask Me Anything. What the heck, right? This guy, that's one of his examples of how he gives first in his Boulder community. He just started writing some checks, not waiting for something to happen. He just knew that. So Brad pauses, he looks at Keith, he looks around the room. There's, I don't know, 100 of us, kind of all around there. And he looks around, he says, how many of you know what Health Tie is? And there's a bunch of us that kind of knew Jacqueline and Health Tech and whatnot, raised our hands. Said, how many of you support what Health Tie is doing? Oh, of course, we all put up our hands. And he looked back at Keith and said, okay.
Dope.
Excellent.
My email is brad@feld.co. Follow up with me. That give first
Wow.
mentality.
He's given us time also. I remember I emceed or helped MC something, I think it was UAA a decade ago, where he zoomed in and had a lot of discussion
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Step
Yeah.
one, have an extra $25,000 cash.
Well, and that's kind of
Failed you,
the
Barney.
ethos of our startup community. And
It is.
in my experience in this community over the last 30 years,
Sorry.
well, really the last 15, I say, because the first 15, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. The last 15, I also didn't know what I was doing, but at least I knew it.
Yep. Self-awareness is good.
But yeah, I mean, it's always been a very collaborative environment. It's always been a space where everyone is willing to support and share resources and connections to help all of our other businesses, you know, like the concept of team, TEAM, together everyone achieves more. And as a group, we all collectively achieve more for our Anchorage ecosystem, economic ecosystem, if we all put in a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Just a quick,
Oh, pardon me.
So if you could just quickly jump over to the Accelerate Alaska, oops, there it is. This is important because now we have a place to send traffic.
Oops, nope,
That's
that's-
not it.
Another plug for Megan.
Um,
You can also send traffic there, but.
There it is. So if
Figured it out.
you know, we're trying to back away from the 1 Million Cups platform because of its limitations. So if you can just scroll down quickly, basically what's on here right now is this
Oh,
link, startup
beautiful.
weekend.
Oh, nice.
There's a lot of information there. Right now, this link, oh, no, this one goes down on the page to give you more information. Keep going. Keep going. And then, you know, it will give you an opportunity to register, tells you what the weekend is. Now I can make this go straight over to the other page, which is a question that's still on the table. This is a work in progress. Then you go further and it'll get to, keep going, keep going, keep going. There you go. Oh, no, keep going. You'll get to 1 Million Cups.
Dun, 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 dun.
You know, these links are all at the top. Apply. This application now takes you to that thing that it's a whole application where now, when somebody applies, they pick their own date. It shoots it over to the calendar. Meeting invites automatically go out as well as reminders, because we've had people not show
Yeah,
up. because
automation.
They didn't have reminders.
Yeah.
And then the last thing at the bottom is the startup calendar, if you keep going. That section needs work, but the startup calendar is there.
Yay.
That
Well
seems-
populated.
Seems
Not
like
populated.
something's not right about that.
Why is it not populating?
So we have some work to do.
Okay, thank you.
This is an all volunteer
But it looks
community, folks,
amazing.
so.
I mean,
yeah.
it looks
Thank you.
intuitive.
So when
it
you look
looks
at this, you
really-
can see the millions that we put into
I
it.
mean, this is just really a quickie
This is great.
placeholder
Yeah.
for now.
I like it.
But it's got the parts, and really the idea was that these are the kind of volunteer organizations that don't have any support. So if we're all volunteering, we should be sharing resources. So that's my announcement, and I think
So to get to it, can you get to the?
accelerate.ak. Yeah, it redirects.
Oh, you got the redirect turned on. Okay, thank you.
So
So
if
they
somebody
can-
signs up to join the community, are they connecting with this group?
Yes, and really the idea is if you're putting your name into that, you're gonna go to all three programs.
Okay.
So it'll be the startup weekend, Million Cups, and entrepreneurship week. Now, I don't know what they're gonna do with those names, but we're gonna put you on our notification.
Okay, cool. So if I'm gonna,
Actually, nobody's doing anything with it right now except for me.
so is that where I should direct
Yes.
people looking to start businesses, so on and so forth? Direct them
Uh,
there now?
So because we think of 1 Million Cups as the front door to the entrepreneurship
Do we
community.
need to get that, where do I start document on there?
Yeah, we could get
The
this-
startup,
this
startup digest on there. 'Cause
Yeah.
If they get to the startup digest, then they're getting plugged into the stream.
And for
of
that,
stuff.
I may need to build a more substantial website.
yeah.
This may be just a placeholder for right now.
Your Squarespace.
All right.
And then the last thing I just wanted to say really quick is just like, thank you all for showing up. There's some new faces here today. This only works if you don't show up once. So if you show up once and you don't keep coming back or come back occasionally, we lose the whole continuity. I'm sure every single person in this room learned something today. And that's the way it works. When you come here, you participate and you provide your knowledge and make connections and links. And so
Yeah.
I just want to encourage new faces to keep coming.
But if you don't come back, it all falls down like a Jenga game. Then we don't get to win. So I'm not saying that it's all on your shoulders, but we're counting on you. All right, couple last.
May I add one thing, Alan, before you close out? Because I've got another appointment to go to.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Export University, Export 101. Class is being held September 11th. And I put the link in the chat here to register. It's Export Council of Alaska. So it's exportalaska.org. And then go to events. And it's going to be a full day, a variety of speakers from our Export Council specialists, and hope please refer somebody, or if you're interested in exporting, to learn some basics about exporting. Gonna cover
What is-
marketing, finance, logistics, you name it, just introductions. So
Yeah,
look forward to
Yeah.
having somebody there.
perfect. All right.
Thank you.
I think, let's see, do we have anything else coming up here? That's next month. That can wait, that can wait. Business after hours at the Anchorage Opera tomorrow with the Chamber of Commerce, if you're a chamber member or not. Always a cool event. Definitely recommend that. Good networking opportunity. Plus Anchorage Opera, why not? Also tomorrow, our host, Marnie, well, co-works, our host, but Marnie has a quilted sewing machine cover class coming up. Sounds like fun. And that'll do it for us. So let's see here. Where is my, got slides under here somewhere.
Can I do a brag?
You can brag, of course you can.
Hive Mind Meadery, swept the state fair in all meat categories. Except for Division Champion, which went to a cider because they combined them for some reason. Yeah, next year they're gonna keep them separate. but-
You got it.
Well done.
Cigarettes.
Congratulations.
That's excellent. That is outstanding. And of course, Tristan has not only been a great addition to the community here over the last couple of years, but is also an alumni of 1 Million Cups and a great supporter of some of the other presenters that have been here. And has also provided their space as a venue for events throughout the community. I did a workshop there during Entrepreneurship Week last week. Nice. So check it out. Hive Mind, great place to go. If you'd like to get up here on this stage at a future 1 Million Cups, we've got a different process for that now, so don't go to that. You can still go. I need to get the new link up here. It's not a simple one, right?
AccelerateAK.com.
Yeah,
I think, yeah, okay. Just go to Accelerate AK. You can find it from there. That's perfect. Connect with us on our socials. All of your favorite social medias. Follow 1 Million Cups. The biggest ask that I could have of you is when you see that content, like it, share it, help us to grow the community. Every little bit, every interaction helps us gain credibility. So if you think that we're doing good work, if you like what we do, why not help us grow it? Why not help us grow it?
I'm just gonna add one
Like,
last thing. I
subscribe.
just posted
Like.
that thing that we were gonna do at the end of each one, which is what can their community do for you? So that's posted. It's in the startups group.
Nice.
And if you guys could go on and tag somebody or like it or make a comment, that will keep it at the top. Or it won't necessarily keep it at the top, but
It helps.
it would help.
It doesn't hurt.
That's right. 80% of the time, it works everything. All righty, folks, thank you so much for joining us. Come back again next Wednesday, 10 a.m. right here at 911 8th Avenue in downtown Anchorage and live via Zoom across the universe. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Have a good day.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Somebody,
Megan, I learned so much.
somebody must have needed my banner at my building more than I did because I took it off, so I had to reprint it.
The
Love that.
man.
Baker,
Oh,
right?
gosh.